Well, Doug, Gary, I thought y'all might like to get a little view of what it looks like down at the old Crawdad Hole nowadays. See how this compares with your memory. Here's another shot. The Harrelsons, where we used to see monkeys and peacocks. And down that way toward the Concho River. And back over toward Doug's house, where Mary and Barnett lived. A little closer view of the Harrelsons. And then here is the actual Crawdad Hole. Even though it's now a 4-holer instead of a 1-holer. It's been improved since we were here. And now we're kind of out in the midst of what used to be our old wooded playground out behind the Harrelsons. Only now a lot of it's been transformed into wide open spaces, including a big antenna, and it belongs to a Christian school that's doing a lot of developing. Search your memories and maybe you can remember the big trees that went along the banks of the river, Concho River, that we went and played in. Then maybe you can remember the river. And across the river, the rock ledges that we'd climb on. There are trees here that I think probably remember us as boys walking through this same area. Right across here, I remember that the river wasn't wide here. We could walk most of the way across. And then we'd jump across the water on the other side, a little stream of it going across, and back beyond that was a farm. There weren't any buildings. As you can see now, there are buildings. This is one of those trees, I think, that probably saw us as boys. It's still possible to kind of get into an old nature trail and see it, as it's not too much different than when we were boys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Well, I decided to extend the tour a little further. That's the Harrelsons from the from the rear. And that back up that way is where we just came from. This area, there's the Crawdad Hole right there. But this area down behind our houses used to be filled with trees and stuff. And in the far distance up there, you can see a pond that was there when we were kids. We just couldn't get to it or see very much of it. And then there's a rock house that used to be there when we were kids. Here we are coming up by the Harrelsons' house again, looking over toward the Villeray house. I can remember when this used to be, I used to think this was a high wall, just about 3 feet high. I remember when there were monkeys running around on this wall. There's another view of it. Okay, there's the Villeray house. This way up, going up Webster Street. This used to be the hall. There's 1412 Webster there, all painted nicely. And there's the Bowden's house, and There's Gary's house in the distance there. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to end the tour. Now this is that house I was talking about that was there when we were kids. It's just that this area wasn't cleared away. And on down that way is Brentwood Park. Goes on down that way for a long way towards Howard. Hope you enjoyed the tour again.